We've had about 1.5 feet of snow in a day. We've got 2 more days of snow coming. The power is out all over this part of the state. And seeing as I'm pretty far out in the middle of the county, I probably won't get power for several days, maybe a week. I worked for 3 months building this ambulance camper for just this situation. I also have my Prius camper, and I'm going to show you how I integrate the two of them to not only survive this winter storm, but do it in absolute style and comfort. So if you're interested in how I did it, stay tuned. Here we go. Let's start with the Prius. The Prius is a generator on wheels. People use these during storms, hurricanes. They're just amazing because you just leave the car in the on state. It doesn't run all the time. So you leave it in the on state and it charges its own battery when it gets low. The big battery charges the 12-volt battery. So what I've done is I've put an inverter and attached it to the 12-volt battery. All right, so here we are in the back hatch, and the primary 12-volt battery is underneath here. The 200-volt battery is back here, and then I've added a second 12-volt battery here. And here I've got a 2,000-watt inverter. So the engine will kick on, and it'll charge up the 200-volt battery, which then in turn charges up the 12-volt batteries, which in turn runs my inverter. And that I have run over to the ambulance, into the front power plug. So right here is the standard plug-in. When an ambulance is not running, you plug it in here to shore power, and that gives the whole unit 110 volts of power. Now that runs into this bay over here, where it has its own inverter right here, which what that does is that charges the 12-volt batteries and also passes the 110 volts through. When that loses power, then it flips over to the inverter, kicks on, and then it'll continue to supply 110 volt power. Down here I have my propane tanks, my primary and my secondary, which feed the propane heater inside. Inside this bay, everybody wants to know, how do you go to the bathroom? Because on this property it's electric powered well, so I don't have access to water or sewer at this point. So here I have my composting toilet, which I'm loved. It works great. You know, there's $1,000 composting toilets, and I did a whole video on that. I'll put a link right here, you can check it out. And this toilet is working quite well. Here you can get another shot for just how much snow we've had. And one great thing is it's a solid aluminum ambulance box, and so the snow right now is acting as an insulator for the inside, kind of like an igloo. Inside my inverter bay I also have some food storage, and behind here I have a little pass-through where I can reach through from inside and grab some bottles of various things. I keep some extra food storage. This is kind of cool storage. It doesn't really freeze, which makes it handy. Some more food down here and some more drawers of food here. So the engine of the Prius rarely kicks on to charge up the battery. I'm not using a great deal of battery, but great deal of power, but I'm not backing off on a lot of things. So this is a really cool effect. In fact, this whole time I've been doing the video, it hasn't even kicked on once. All right, so let's step inside and see how things are working out. This is 98 square feet. It was a former ambulance, and I've converted it to a camper. Here is the kitchen cabinets, and out here in this bin I have spare 2-gallon water tanks. And those water tanks I swap out underneath the counter here, which is powered by a 12-volt water pump. And so I have water. The coffee maker I could turn on. There's enough power to do that, especially since it's only on for a couple minutes. I can also run the microwave for enough to cook something, and lots of 12-volt lighting. And I'm not giving up anything. I'm enjoying myself. I still have access to my big screen TV and soundbar. I also have my computer all hooked up and can watch some YouTube videos, Netflix, anything I want to. And I've got my big sleeping bag laid out, and I am comfy and cozy. So heating is provided by my Dynaglow propane heater, which I have interfaced to my Digitin electronic thermostat over here, so I can have pinpoint control of heating. I have a ventilation fan cut through the floor over here, which is ducted right now under the sofa where I get a little bit of moisture condensation. Got a whole video on condensation. I'll put that right above for you, how I deal with that. And so that's pulling the air out from under here. I've got a window cracked right here a little bit, and also have a little bit of air that comes through the cab through this hole right here, so I can get adequate ventilation. All right, so also with the comfort thing, we have refrigeration. So underneath my cabinets here, I have a slide out where I have my Dometic refrigerator, which is wonderful. Keeps all my food great. I also have a pull-out pantry here. And there's another pull out in here. So over on this side, I have a slide out where I have clothes here, and then here is my 2-gallon water tank where I can swap out and put another one in there when I run out. If you're interested to know about the build of the ambulance, it's completely documented on my channel with all the videos for building it. I also have a whole series on how I built the Prius into a camper, which is amazing. It's the cheapest way to travel. You can put a bed in there, sleep. It's great. So the snow is really coming down, but I'm not worried. I'm set for several days, no problem. The Prius has a full tank of gas. I would expect that to last a couple weeks. Or more doing what it's doing. So I hope you enjoyed the video and hope you got some ideas for how you can survive a winter storm in style and comfort.